Okay, you can see the door that we're fixing to build. It's just got two side stiles. It's got 1, 2, 3 rails. It's got a center rail at the top. This is going to be glass up here. So we're going to have to make these mullions. Now you can see where that rub collar has been. That rub collar is rubbing right there. That's what gives you this depth, so that you have the right depth. And that's what that's for right there. So now we're going to do all the rest of them. You can see we've got our cope joint, and we've got our milled edge. And then of course this here will be cut out on the table saw here in a few minutes, because this is going to have glass in it. Okay, you can see we've got the edges milled. We'll cut this off with a table saw, then there's going to be some glass in there. So it's going to be all wooden panels. We do both sides, but it's okay. Now this is when you want to check to make sure that all this is perfect before you cut this off, because once you cut that off, there's no going back. So you always want to make sure that all this is just right. Double check, triple check, quadruple check everything. Make sure everything is right before you cut them off. That goes with the top. See the top? That's in great shape. This is our chest piece. Here's the other side. We'll check it. Here's your center rail. Here's your bottom rail. So check everything, make sure everything is in good shape. we have set everything on top because when this drops down in, this edge is going to be flush with this edge. But for right now, just for testing purposes, what we're trying to do is get, of course we know the distance across here. So what we have to do now is we need to get our glass size from the top to the bottom here. Because that was going to be our glass. There's going to be 2 verticals and 1 horizontal. So in order to get this distance, we got to know what the distance is between these two so that we can do our center rail that comes down through here. So basically everything's going to be square at that point. Now what I have to do is now that I've got the glass rail sizes down, now I have to come in and add our sticking to each side of this fillet. So you'll understand here in a minute. So what you have to do, you have to figure 1/2 inch. This would be your glass rail with no glazing rail in it. So now we got to add the 1/2 inch and the 1/2 inch, which is usually about 1.5 inches overall. That will get this milled edge put on there. So what we do then to get that coat, if we didn't have this part to accept that back part, and I'm going to show you, this edge would just blow out. It just splinters all to pieces, and I'll show you on the other end. Alright, let's do one without that jig on there, and then we'll do one with, and then the rest of them. You can see we coat that in and it just splintered that edge. There's just nothing left, and that's the reason you got to have something on the back of it to catch all that stuff, to keep it what they call a chip breaker. In other words, if we had something sitting right here, the chips would break back to that point. They wouldn't break any farther. That's why they're called chip breakers. So anyway, we're going to cut these to length and then get the coats, and then I'll show you the difference. And you know you're handling a real small piece, so you have to be extra careful. Keep your fingers out of the way. Keep your nose. Wear your safety glasses. Everything. See how nice that turned out? No blowouts, no nothing. And it should be 7 3/8. Sure is. Okay, let's get the others done.